YouTube, man, what is going on? We got some crazy news back at it again. Now, Sharife Cooper just is going through the NBA draft combine, and man, there's a measurement here that is stating that Sharife Cooper actually grew to about 6'4", which is insane. And some more news on the other hand, Isaiah Washington is back in the news, in the media, and man, he's been putting in a ton of work. So I want to take a look at some footage and show you guys what this dude has been up to. Now, if you guys haven't noticed by now, of course, the draft combine is going on, and I gotta say one thing first, man. Kyrie Walker is not there. Now, this is shocking to me, but a lot of you guys just assumed he really wasn't going to be there. And a lot of haters are starting to say, man, his time is over. We've been saying for a while now that he was overhyped, not that good, and was just that guy that reclassed so many times, was older than his competition, and that was the main reason why he dominated. But I'm curious what you guys think about that. Let me know in the comments down below, and if I'm missing anything about that situation. But if you guys haven't seen this report right now, man, Chad Ford, a verified account on ESPN, actually stated this about Sharife Cooper. Now, the official measurements for the 2021 NBA draft prospects are up, and Sharife Cooper measured at 6 3.5 in socks and 6 4.5 inches in shoes. Now, this is crazy to me because a lot of people are looking at it and saying, man, how could Sharife Cooper have grown this much over such a short period of time? The number one thing people looked at Sharife Cooper and said was, man, he is such an excellent player, but his height is something that may be an issue going to the next level, and of course, a couple of other things with his game. Now, a lot of people are stating in the comments, man, the real reason of this must have been his hair. It must have given him a ton of extra height because this dude is only around probably 6'1" or 6 feet tall, in my opinion, and that's what a lot of people had listed him as. But of course, that hair most likely gave him a lot of extra height, and a lot of people are even stating this in the comment section below as well. Man, if Sharife Cooper was 6'4", he would be the -- pick automatically. And I gotta be honest here, if this guy was 6'4", I think we'd be talking about a whole new level of basketball. And the one thing that you can really not control, of course, is your height, but that can determine how good you'll be in the future. You guys know, the taller you are, a lot of times the less talented or skilled you have to be in these types of situations. And if Sharife Cooper actually was 6'4", I think he would be a monster on the court. We would be comparing him more to somebody like LaMelo, being LaMelo 6'8" and a guard. Man, 6'4", but the way Sharife Cooper can get his teammates involved, lob that ball up, able to score the ball and finish at the hoop efficiently, man, that would be insane to see. But there were definitely a ton of very funny comments in that comment section down below, and everyone was clowning him and really clowning the NBA draft combine for actually listing him as 6'4", but of course, yes, that is his hair in this case. Now, in addition to this, a report actually dropped that the Knicks were actually looking at Sharife Cooper and very interested in his game. And if you guys know anything about the Knicks by now, they have been bad for a very long time. Now, this, of course, this specific season was definitely an exception to the rule because they actually are starting to turn around their franchise. But I would be shocked to see Sharife Cooper go to a team like the Knicks and maybe even help them not just turn around, because in my opinion, they have definitely turned around somewhat, but actually be a team that is very competitive in the future for a long time. And I think it could give them a whole new level to play with. And if you guys didn't know, there are actually some reports that Zion Williamson may be interested in going and playing for the New York Knicks. And if we saw something like Sharife Cooper and Zion Williamson playing in New York, I think that would be insane. You guys should know by now I'm a Knicks fan, and they have been bad for such a long time. This would be a brand new leaf to turn. And you guys don't know, man, Zion Williamson almost actually got drafted to the Knicks, but of course he did end up going to New Orleans. But he was almost drafted by the Knicks initially. Of course, that didn't happen, and the Knicks were still poorly. But I would love to see Sharife Cooper in New York. But along with this, a lot of you guys know by now, man, New York tends to have a lot of negative effects on their players. A lot of people end up going there, do not liking it, do not have a good time. Of course, it's a great place to be at, but not always the best for basketball. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about Sharife Cooper? Man, is he really 6'4"? What do you think about him? In that draft combine, of course, him maybe actually having interest in going to the Knicks, maybe a possibility in the future. You never know. Time is ticking. The NBA draft is only a very short time away, and we're going to see, matter of fact, where Sharife Cooper is going to go. But let me know in the comments down below, where do you think he should be drafted? How good of a player do you really think he is? Now, Isaiah Washington is the next one on the chopping block. You guys know this dude by now. Jelly Fam, played with Javon Quinterly, who's at Alabama. Man, he had a huge name. Honestly, low-key kind of fell off in my opinion. Not a lot of people really talk about this dude or look at what he's doing or even keep up with his game. If you guys didn't know, he actually graduated from college, and technically I believe he still has another year of eligibility, but it looks like he's trying to go to this year's NBA draft, and we will see what's going to happen with him. Now, I don't believe he signed with an agent or anything like that, but we do have some brand new footage of this guy getting in the gym, and I gotta be honest here. In my opinion, he always looks crazy nice in these type of workouts. Of course, they probably are edited to make all his shots look like makes, but he looks very smooth on the court. But again, this is the issue with a lot of these guards, man. Height is something you can't control. Regardless of how good or talented you are as a guard, man, height is something that can hold a lot of players back, because in the NBA, you have to be very tall. You have to have a ton of height. And of course, you're the exception if you are a shorter guard and are still able to stay in the NBA. Now, in my opinion, if you look at this footage, his handles are looking pretty smooth. He looks very in control of the ball and has a nice finishing package. But if you guys know by now, the one thing that he's always struggled with is his shooting ability. Man, a lot of people honestly thought that this was the biggest flaw in his game because, of course, him only being around 6'1", maybe 6'2"-ish, you have to be able to shoot the ball at the next level, and he was not able to put up great numbers in college basketball and really throughout his career. Now, of course, that being said, the type of style that he's used to playing, especially him being from New York, is that ISO basketball, trying to get to the hoop and score. They're not really worried about things like defense or even shooting the ball. It's much more about getting to the hoop and having a nice finish. But you guys know those type of skills do not really translate at the next level, because it's not about finishing a layup with English or jelly or laying that ball up, but it's really about the fundamentals, being able to shoot the ball, get your teammates open. And of course, Isaiah, in this opinion, you guys know by now, he is a score first point guard. He is a guy that likes to get to the hoop, score, and make his presence known on the court. And that's not always the best thing for college basketball, and even when you're trying to get into the NBA. Now, I think it's going to be tough for this dude to get to the next level, just because we've already seen how he's performed in college basketball. If you look at his numbers, they are really not the best. And you guys know, if you're not doing the best in college, man, you have to take a look at that and use it as a prediction to how he'll do if he can even make it to the NBA. And it's going to be tough. I really don't see this dude getting drafted, maybe signed, but honestly, in my opinion, I even think that's a long shot. More likely to see him somewhere overseas at this point, but who knows? I could be wrong. He may end up getting to the NBA. There may be something I could be missing about his game. From what it looks like right now, that seems like, in my opinion, I don't think he'll be making the league. Now, with that other year of eligibility, I do believe he actually has one more season left that he could actually play in. So it wouldn't be the worst idea to maybe try to go for one more year in college basketball, see what you could do. But I really don't think college worked out as well as a lot of people thought it would for Isaiah Washington. And man, people even said back in high school he was going to be one of the best guards from New York and make it to the NBA. Everyone was saying he was going to make it to the NBA and was going to be an exceptional player. But when we saw him in college basketball, things unfortunately did not go how everyone thought they would and how he even planned they would go. Now, with that being said, man, I could be missing something. Maybe Isaiah Washington really does have a better shot than I think. And hopefully he can make it to the NBA, because, you know, we are not here to bash any players. We just want to talk about the real stuff that's going on and give you an accurate analysis of their game. You guys let me know in the comments down below, man. Of course, Sharife Cooper, aka 6'4" guard, and Isaiah Washington up next. Man, will we see these two guys in the NBA? Will Isaiah get drafted? Where will Sharife Cooper get drafted? Let me know in the comments down below, man. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, get a new notification every time I upload a new video, and make sure to comment down below any video suggestions you have for me. I'm always taking a look at these, open to new ideas, want to see what you guys have, and I'll make sure to put them in some polls so we can vote and get some fire videos out coming for you guys. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, man. All right, it's LNH out.